What's up, everybody? Sal the Investor here again for another long video, and we're going to go over good old Luna. But first, I want to say I am not a financial advisor, was a broker, but I have no fiduciary responsibility towards helping you. I always suggest you do your best and most research on your own, or seek out a certified financial planner to help you understand anything involved in the markets and in crypto and in investing. I'm just a guy that's kind of going through this journey with you, and I'm learning as I go as well. And I'm just broadcasting my journey through this. So, with that being said, it's been a green day. I don't know about you, but I've certainly made quite a bit of increase today. Not a lot, but my like XRP's up. I have Atoms up, Dots in here somewhere, Crow's up a little bit. You know, I still think we're still going to head down in the overall area. The greed index right now 10. I think the last few days were 9 or lower. We're still pretty low as far as the fear index and extreme fear, but I do feel like this is going to hit for between 3 to 6 months as we ride this out. As everyone knows, we are in a recession right now, and everyone's saying the average is 11 months. I'm saying this recession will probably last between 18 to 24 months, given all the supply chain problems and everything that's going on. So it's going to be crazy for the rest of the year, so you better strap in tight. But what I'm going to say is now's the time that I feel I am investing and I'm putting in everything I can. So what I did at the beginning of this year is I just started my journey in through this, and I decided to record all of this so that's on there so you guys can see not only my wins but my losses. So with that being said, I just started out with the same as everybody else. I do own a moving business and a cleaning business, so I do have separate accounts, but this is just me personally putting money aside. I'm finally at the point where I can start just putting money aside. I have a lot of money left over after I pay myself. So let me just go ahead and quickly show you. So this is my portfolio right here. Exactly everything I record, I try to do it like every 3 or 4 days. So you see Dots kind of 11%. I have hardly anything. However, my goal is, can I get this number? So my total stock and crypto investments is 5,000, right? If I can get this number to 10,000 by the end of June, that's my goal. Now, in here, Apple, I had sold Apple. I didn't realize the dividends are getting reinvested, so that's where that little bit comes from. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going back into Apple. NLY is a good one. I have 30 shares of it at 189. So the next time after I finish putting another large bout into crypto, next time I pay myself a chunk of money, will probably go straight to here, because I'm a firm believer, build up this dividend account, because this one right here pays $13.44 a share. So I have 30 shares. It's $403 a year. Now the goal is, let's get this sucker up to 1,000 shares. That's the goal. Right now it's sitting under $6.50 a share. It's totally doable. What I did to grow this was I did a lot of shorts, just on things going through. A lot of shorts in the stock market coming back. I borrowed money, paid off the margin. So as you see, all that borrowing, trading, and amounted to hardly anything. That's why, unless if you really, really, really know what you're doing, I don't advise getting the margin. I'm not even doing that anymore. I'm in the buy and hold phase, and which is good for this type of market, because you should buy and hold. Wealthfront is a algorithmic AI firm that manages your portfolio. I have $1,000 in there. I actually haven't checked. It could be a lot more, or it could be a lot less. I don't know, but it's in there, and it's got some interest accounts. So my total crypto is 35, almost 3,600. My total stocks portfolio right now is 1,400. We're going to check in back in on this at the end of June and see where I'm at. I don't know how far I'll get. We'll see. It depends on how much I'm able to pay myself to. But keep in mind, though, the market's crazy. I expect another 20% loss. So we're looking at 540. I'm expecting myself to lose $1,008 over the next month. That's what I'm expecting. But right now, things seem to be going up. Who knows? I don't think this recession is. Excuse me. I don't think this recession is going to be that bad. Excuse me. Uh, as bad as others, I think it's going to be very mild. I think the real big one's coming probably another 5 to 7 years. I think that's when we'll have that big reset, because right now the housing market's strong. There's a lot of smart buyers in there. Only people that are going to crash that market are going to be the ones who followed real estate gurus, over leveraged on trying to be a rental property investment mogul and trying to make it that way. And that's just not how you do it. You should buy those properties cash and buy properties you can rent out for under the market value, so you can always keep a fully rented out tenant and you don't mind because you paid cash. You're not paying anything but property taxes. So if you're making $12,000 a year off a property, your profit's $10,000. So with that being said, we're going to check back in on this in a month and see if I can get that number up to 10,000. Don't know. Like I said, I'm not playing any risky bets. There might be some good shorts that I can do. I might make a lot of money, but as of right now, we're in build phase. I most likely will probably get it to be about the same, unless, of course, my picks skyrocket. And as you can see here, everything's broken down percentage points. So, guys, snapshot this. We're going to see. I'm going to try and see if I can get this up to 10,000. See if I can double my money in 30 days. But with that said, let's get back to this and let's talk about Luna here. Now, there's a lot of good guys. A shout out to Connor Kenny and shout out to Friendly Financial Advisor guy. They did some great newscasting on Luna and their experiences in it. A lot of people have lost money. A lot of craziness has happened with it, but here's what I could say from looking from the outside. I never invested in Luna. I never had stable coins in. I never did anything with the Terra ecosystem. We all know everyone has a great explanation. It's an algorithmic stable coin with a base of it would burn Luna every time you mint UST, and then burn UST every time you mint Luna, when you're switching back and forth. Okay. And it's based on that. It has, it's kind of like a bank. You have too many people trying to get out, there's going to be a run on the bank. So what happened was that you had $600 million, and then another $350 million is pulled out instantly, crashing the market, putting a lot of selling pressure, which doubled down on Terra minting a shit ton of Luna to keep UST pegged to $1. And of course, that just caused a spiral down effect. There's a lot of also speculation. Was it an attack? Was it a planned thing? But from my take, this looks an awful lot like what a guy named Martin Shkreli did. So in Martin Shkreli's hedge fund, what he did, what got him caught, was that he was burning through money in his hedge fund on bad bets. It had to close down, and he told investors, hey, instead of paying you back the money, come invest in my new hedge fund. Move the money that you have there into here. And that's kind of like what Luna, the Quan was doing with offering, now you have Luna Classic and you're going to have some new token. That's kind of like what he's doing. Hey, you lost a lot of money, but here, shift it over. So that's kind of like the red flag here. So like I always said, like you want to add up how many red flags, and if we start having more red flags in a Chinese parade, then this might not be the investment for you. The reason why I didn't invest is because they didn't disclose what they exactly were doing with the money. There was no transparency in what was going on, where the money was going, and how it was going. As far as best to my knowledge, it was very centralized in that part. But since you don't know where the money's going, how can you safely invest in something that you don't know how you're getting paid your percentage, your 20%? How's the company growing? How's it paying for the things that it's doing? What's going on? So that led me to think that with everything that's going on, I think what they were trying to do was mimic what banks and the central bank do, but without the central bank, and that's very hard. So in order for Terra to be successful, UST has to keep getting new people to deposit stable coins to get people to want to hold Luna and put up or down selling pressure or buying pressure on Luna to mint more UST to keep money in the bank. So basically, how I look at it is, if as long as there's not a situation where people want to pull UST out, then we're fine. So like if you're talking a bull market, this probably would have never have happened. But in a downward bear market where people were getting uncertain, and the most people who were in UST, as much as I can gather, most people who were in UST in this stable coin were putting it there for the 20% interest, followed by taking it out at times of dips. Now, with the dip happening and people taking out for the dip to buy other coins at a discounted price, so we're pulling out UST to go to other networks and go to other things. We're also someone pulled out almost $1 billion, and then on top of all this craziness, to keep UST pegged, they had to sell $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and then that just caused a disaster because that put too much selling pressure on the market. Market went down even more, therefore Luna went down, and you're minting more Luna at the same time. So it was a runaway train at that point. Which leads me to this next point, because of Terra and what Daquan did, this is going to be the keystone to where the United States and some other countries will be putting some regulations in. 100%. I guarantee that's what's going to happen. It may take a while, but this set the foundation for all of that. So, and this is why I want to show you this video. I might not show it all, but fair use. We're just using this for educational purposes only.
The cryptocurrency market has exploded over the past.
But this is how most people, especially people who are not as educated in investments and the crypto marketplace, and I'm not that educated. I have a lot of learning to do in this market space, but I'm also an investor in stocks, and the way people treat the crypto market is the same way 20 years ago when I was young, when I was in my early 20s, that people viewed the stock market. It's the exact same way. So just listen to what she has to say. This was done on, I think, CNBC. It's just a quick segment as to what it is. She's going over what happened with Terra Luna. Of course, this is also on YouTube under Senator Elizabeth Warren. Subscribe or don't subscribe, but fair use. I'm just showing you this is what most people feel about the markets right now.
Last few years, with the volume of crypto transactions reaching nearly $16 trillion last year. That's up about 600% just from 2020. Now, most of that growth is.
Now, what she's talking about is, if everyone remembers when the lockdowns happened, everyone got their stimulus checks, and people had nothing to do but watch TV, watch the news, watch YouTube, watch Instagram videos, watch all this stuff, right? So you got a lot of people making money from the crypto market during the 2020s, and of course there's tens of millions of people who are trying to get to a high net worth as quickly as possible, and they're in the middle class, they're in the lower classes, they're, everybody wants a slice of that upper class pie. This is what she's kind of referring to here. Everybody wants that upper class pie, and people were investing in crypto because they saw people make tens of millions of dollars in months, and they were thinking that they're going to do the same thing. So I don't mean to make this a reaction video, but I want to stop and kind of explain everything to someone who's not kind of savvy with crypto or investing, or just investing in general.
Has been driven by speculation and gambling, but we also know that crypto provides a new payment option for criminals and cheats. And it's how those who attack our
Now that I have to say is false. I mean, yes, there are people who cheat, steal, and with anything. And in crypto, yes, there are people who cheat and steal. But as far as from what I understand, how blockchains work and how this industry works is that if you steal out of someone's wallet and take it to your wallet, it may take a little bit of time, but they can find you. And you have an IP address, you have all this stuff that people can do some forensic IT work and find you. Now, if you go back 20 years ago, nobody wants to be traced, so what did they do? They take cash. Money laundering is done through cash only businesses. I'm from the Northeast, so there's remnants of unfortunately organized crime where we have a lot of random event centers, and that's where money laundering happened. The money would go in and come out and be washed clean. No one's using crypto markets to launder money. They launder money through the traditional laundering money ways because it's a pain in the ass to track where bags of cash are going. You can easily track where something is on a computer going from one computer to another. You cannot track a bag of cash going anywhere. Once someone withdraws the money out of the bank, it disappears. No one knows where it is except for that person.
systems with ransomware collect their money with the least risk that they will be caught. In fact, according to one of our witnesses who's here with us today, about 3/4 of the money collected in ransomware attacks last year went to Russia linked actors. So Russians certainly know how to run illegal scams through crypto. And we know that other countries.
They weren't doing it through crypto. That's another false statement that she had here, but they aren't doing it through crypto. They are doing it. They would put the ransomware on, and people would pay cash to release it. Just like that oil pipeline company last year, they paid $5 million in ransom money to unlock the pipelines, and that's all they did. They sent the cash. They didn't send it through Bitcoin. They didn't send it through crypto. They sent it through cash, as far as I know.
Have used crypto to evade sanctions. Mr. Levin, your company tracks illicit finance in crypto. Do you know which countries have already used crypto to evade sanctions?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. It's an incredibly important issue and something that we spend a lot of time researching and detecting, actually. So when it comes to sanctions evasion, the transparency of the blockchain actually does...
Excuse me, my question was, do you know the 3 countries that have already used crypto in order to evade financial sanctions?
We have detected the use of cryptocurrency in Venezuela.
All right, so what she's talking about is she's trying to make a case that it's clear that people from bad countries are using crypto. And what she's getting at is the point as you can put your crypto on a hardware wallet, unplug, and go anywhere, and no one can take your money. No one can shut you down. No one can lock you down. That's what she's talking about when you avoid sanctions. So it's not like this magical thing. It's just that any single person has 100 complete control over their crypto, their money. So all you have to do is make sure you have your hardware wallet, like that Nano X that you can pull out like a thumb drive, and go on the road, go go 7,000 miles away and then plug it in, and you can use your money the same there. That's what she's confusing is financial freedom of access to Russia's using it to get around sanctions. Which, of course, Russia and Venezuela are moving. Venezuela already is using Bitcoin as a currency, but Russia's kind of moving to crypto as well.
Venezuela, Iran, and North Korea.
Okay. And just last week, FinCEN, the federal agency responsible for identifying financial crimes, issued a warning that in light of the sanctions against Russia, quote, sanctioned persons, illicit actors, and their related networks or facilitators may attempt to use crypto and anonymizing tools to evade U.S. sanctions.
Okay, so we're going to kind of end it right here. Fair use, we're just kind of going over some things, but what you got to understand is she is using this to she has to start running. She's a senator. Senators operate on 6-year terms. Her 4 years are up, so now she's got 2 years till she's reelected. So she's got to start cementing, I'm for the people and protecting the people. What a lot of people don't understand, and like she does in the steps, is like, and there's another video, I can't find it, but it goes on about how she talks about the Quan and how it's stolen and ruined the lives of tens of thousands of people, which is true. It has ruined a lot of lives, and many people bet their house on this, or borrow or put their house up for collateral to invest in this, and lost everything. And that's very unfortunate. And that is something that anyone, even myself as a broker, would say, do not do that. You have a home, your home is your home. Your home is not an investment. Your home is your home is your home. Don't invest it, because when you make it an investment, it has a potential to hit zero, and then you can lose everything. Don't do it. I suggest you strongly don't do it. Invest anything that if you lose it, you're like, you shrug your shoulders and you keep moving. But what she does, she's trying to make a case against crypto, saying it's bad, 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 and I'm for the people. She's not doing any ill harm to it, and she probably will push a lot of strong regulations while she's in the Senate towards it. But she's using this as a kickstart to her platform to being reelected, and saying, hey, I'm for the people. I've been fighting all along. I've been doing all this stuff. And what she went on to say about Daquan was that he created a Ponzi scheme, which is entirely possible. And Daquan is being prosecuted in South Korea, or has been indicted in South Korea. I'm sorry, not prosecuted, indicted in South Korea. Granted, I'm not a lawyer, so if anyone's a lawyer, bear with me and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But she is she's trying to showcase this, and he has been indicted on Ponzi scheme charges in South Korea. So she's trying to make the play that cryptocurrency is nothing but a scam. And for many people who are highly educated in the system, or anyone like me who's just starting and learning in it, you will find out very quickly that there are some scammy things. And I've come across several tokens that are complete scams, 100% scams. But there are a lot of tokens like DOT that they're going to they're taking a while to get to where they got to be, because they're building a great foundation. So, and it's hard to find gems. And I think right now, CoinMarketCap says there's about almost 20,000 cryptocurrencies, and it takes 5 minutes to make one on Ethereum network or BNB network. So you guys do have to be careful and pay attention to the key investment points. So, and those investment points are the same for stocks, real estate, and crypto. It's all the same. You just have to stay very alert at it, and try not to bring your emotions into it. I know a lot of you who are maybe listening, maybe like, look, this is my bet to making a quick $2-3 million, or getting up to a high net worth. You still should be careful. It takes time. I've always said this. You got to respect the process, and making money and investing is not a sexy process. It takes time. It just takes time. You have to put in the work. In your first year, you're probably going to feel like you're a hamster spinning the wheel. Your next year, probably going to be okay. the following year, you'll probably start to see ground. But let's go ahead and take a look at Terra prices. So let me just refresh this right now. So of course, everyone's alerting. I think they've been taking off. I know they've been taking off Gemini and everything. I think Uphold is not allowing any trading of it. So I think you got to go through some secondary apps like Pancake Swap and all that fun stuff. But here it is, and for the day it's been up. You look 7 days, it's just a lot of red. You look at 1 month, and it's starting to look like a rug pull because you see it just dropped. Now we got announced that they announced that the Bitcoin that Daquan sold was to back the UST. But my gut feeling says that 950 million. I don't think that was an outside like whale or something. I think that was either Daquan or a partner, someone in that company. They were building this up and took out almost $1 billion and left. So there's a reason why, like this Terra, this project it's going to come out being worse than the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, because in the case of Bernie Madoff, if you unwittingly had stuff in a fund that then invested in Bernie Madoff to make returns for your 401k, the FDIC still covered the loss. So if your 401k lost $100,000 because of Bernie Madoff, the government made you whole, and you never noticed it. They just reinvested into something else. The problem with this is there's no FDIC, there's no government backing, there's no way to make investors whole. So if you lost your money, you lost your money. This is why the crypto market you got to be careful, and you have to make sure you're not betting your savings, your life savings, anything that's important to you, that if you lost it, life is going to be really hard for you. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're investing money. If it just disappeared, then hey, it was a lesson learned, but you're still fine. Me personally, I think crypto is kind of at the beginning stages, just like the stock market was in the late 1800s, from like 1860 on, where there's a lot of shenanigans going on, but we still got to this point where we got a lot of regulation. It's a little more centralized. Yes, they lock accounts from doing certain things to prevent market chaos, which may seem bad in some cases, but also is good in other cases, where if there's a run on an investment bank, the government will do its best to slow it down and prevent the investment bank from falling. We all saw the tragic happenings when Lehman Brothers collapsed, and it sent the markets into turmoil. And almost, if it wasn't for the government stepping in, 3 or 4 more big banks would have went under. And excuse me. So back to what Terra is. The regulation is going to come. Now, when people say it's not, the government doesn't watch it. It's like, the fraud is fraud, and the FBI still will get involved with fraud if fraud is involved. So if it starts looking like this was a true Ponzi scheme, which deep down my gut is saying it might be, then the FBI will step in. But where we need regulation is we need clear-cut guidelines and what is and what isn't from the SEC, and that's going to come because of this crash. Like, just falling off the face of the earth. I mean, we're talking about beginning, like, where's this? Like, end of March. What is this? End of April. We're looking at 90s. Starts to drop a little. We're starting to get into May. and all of a sudden we just crash, and it's just been going. It's been going in that one direction, which I know there's some people hoping, but it's this thing is not coming back. It's done, and Daquan offered a new coin, which is now this is exactly how Ponzi scheme people who run Ponzi schemes or financial schemes do. They they make one thing, it crashes, then they move on to something else and tell everyone in the crash saying, "Hey, no problem. The market sucked or something happened. Come to my new fund. I'll make your money back. You'll be whole again." Blah blah blah. That's what this is, and that's what made me. As soon as that was announced, that's when I said, "Yep, this is a Ponzi scheme," because, or at least a financial fraud scheme, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't offer a new coin uh, right away. Like, it would probably come after some litigation and government stepping in, and then Terra saying, okay, we got to do something to help make the people that made Terra what it is something back to them, because they put money with us and we're obligated to help them in some way. That's kind of not what happened. It was like the market crashed. They did something. It did worse than what they thought it would do. And then they were like, oh shit, I got to figure out how to get this to spin positive for us. So they offered a new coin. That's my take on it. Excuse me. That's my take on it. I don't necessarily, that's not public opinion, but that's just my take on it, which is why I'm just kind of watching it passively. To me, it's a dead project. It's not going to go anywhere. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of money on it, and it's just down. It's just gone. And like, I'm looking at the comments, everything, even what I watch on Twitter is just saying Luna's pumping, Luna's going to pump, Luna's going to pump, burn, burn, burn. And it's like, you're going to spend money, your own money, to burn it. That you're literally going to burn your cash to make your other holdings of it. Where, I mean, you'd have to spend billions of dollars to make billions of dollars disappear. Now, overall, for inflation purposes, this is actually pretty perfect, because it is going to showcase how it's going to give a way for a government to say, oh, well, let's look at Terra, see what they did. We'll emulate that, and that's how we'll fix our inflation problems. I don't think this is going to be a project that's going to survive. But give me one moment. I'm just going to step away a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm in my office, and the lights were off, and it was starting to get dark here, so I had to turn on the lights. So, but so this project's just a done deal. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Coming to look on blockchain news, I'm gonna have an article about the Daquan's been pressed for financial charges. It's also really weird that a legal team out of the blue would quit. So that's another red flag to me, saying there's something wrong here. Because if everyone was truly innocent, the legal team wouldn't leave you. They would say, okay, we kind of mess up here, but here's how we're going to help defend you. If they left, that means someone in that legal group, or all of them, knew what was going on, and to save their own butts, they left. And they made it very public that, hey, we're no longer representing the Terra network. It's like, that's just crazy to me. And that's kind of like the exact same thing that in other Ponzi schemes, not just Bernie Madoff, but There's like hundreds of others at the 2008 crisis that came out because of it. Their legal team or their legal representative or their legal team bounces right before bad things happen. So here they're saying like prosecutors are investigating if they should file Ponzi fraud charges and indict him. I think actually on Friday, I think he actually got indicted by by the courts of South Korea. And there's this all this suspicious stuff, and in this article is red flag number 4. He dissolved parts of the business and was liquidating stuff and changing and trying to move the company out of South Korea, which it's just crazy that you're going to do this and then like a few days later, bam, your crash happens. Red flag number 5 was he posted like I think maybe a month or 2 ago on Twitter saying that most cryptocurrencies will disappear this year. I think it's kind of ironic that his disappears first. Like this is the first big one, top 10, just gone. So keep in mind that, and it's like I'll try to keep updated on this too. I'm running 2 businesses, and I do my own research and investing. So I'll try to stay up on this because I'm not paying attention to the Terra stuff because I was never invested. So I just don't care. I was never really full invested in this, so I didn't lose any money off of it. So I'm not really paying attention to it too much. But I know that a lot of crypto people were in the Anchor protocol, which was involved in the 20% staking. And even a lot of great YouTubers who I watch have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's a gut-wrenching feeling to just see that loss, even if it's personal or not personal. As a broker, I would see people lose millions of dollars, and it was just heart-wrenching. And people's reactions to it are just heart-wrenching. But that's all I got for you on Terra Luna. And to me, being an investor and a broker, this looks like a Ponzi scheme. And if it looks like a duck, squawks like a duck, it most likely is a duck. So, I mean, everything's kind of lining up that there was a Ponzi scheme, or at the very minimal, a financial fraud scheme that happened. And it could be that Daquan's not involved in it and has no way tied to it, and it could have been an interior small group of people working at Terra that did this and ran away with the money and caused massive chaos. You don't know. That's why when prosecutors start doing this, when they're investigating, that's what they're investigating too. They're trying to see what really happened here. But I can tell you this: anyone who has invested in this, you're not going to get your money back. I mean, I'm looking here, wiped out $38 billion, just gone. I mean, that's where people start self-deleting. Right here, 38 billion. That's there's got to be a few people that lost 2 or 3 or maybe even $10 million. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Or at 38 billion, there has to be one person in there that lost $1 billion. There's going to be. And that's what we're going to have to wait till once the investigation's done and the list of victims on this are displayed, where you can see who had lost the most and who had lost the least. They usually don't say names, but they'll give you the value amount of the top loser. I bet someone in there lost billions of dollars, and that's kind of, that's kind of, you know, there was a billionaire that put money and other friends' money into Bernie Madoff's hedge fund, and unfortunately self-deleted himself because he helped everyone lose billions of dollars. I think it was like $8.9 billion in total that he and other people lost. So, yeah, this isn't like $100 million scheme or anything. This is $38 billion of lost money. So we'll have to follow this closely and see what transpires. There's just a lot of craziness involved in this, and there's still a lot of shadows. So we're gonna have to really just watch this as it progresses and see what goes on. The only way we're really going to know something is when a court date becomes definitive, because then there's evidence files, there's logged instances of fraud and illegal activity. So that's when we'll know. And what's going to happen is he's probably going to get if this is a Ponzi scheme, he's definitely going to have wire charges placed against him. Of course, theft, committing a Ponzi scheme. I mean, if this comes out and Daquan was leading this, he could see probably a lifetime of jail. But that's if he was in the U.S. In South Korea, I don't know. You gotta understand. Like countries outside the U.S. have very strict penalties for breaking the law. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is that, if he did commit a Ponzi scheme, did do all this, and was the sole perpetrator of it, that he might end up finding out that he might become fall under capital punishment, where they might just the guillotine comes down. But we'll have to see. Right now, he's innocent until proven guilty. So right now, everyone's just kind of investigating, trying to find what really went on, the answer and everything, which I think is going to come out that he did commit a Ponzi fraud, a Ponzi scheme. It's 100% Ponzi scheme to me, but I can't say anything for sure yet, but I'm like 99% sure. So we'll see what happened. Who knows? Maybe my best case scenario is that he never did anything, and it was a couple people who had access to everything that committed this fraud. Because people in these crypto projects, they're very intelligent. They're the smartest people on the planet. Sometimes they find ways to do this. On lighter news, if we look at the Bitcoin chart here, which is where I say we are going to get that bull run after this bear market. We just might not get it till 2023, but I mean we got the W forming here over, was this a 2-year period? Yeah, so you look, we have a rapid increase right there. Shoots up, goes down, shoots up again, goes down. So that means by the end of this year, we're going to have a bull run, which I think that's what people are hoping for in an election process. Because if you're in the United States, the midterm elections are coming up this year, and if you want people to vote for you, their wallet's got to be happy. And if their wallet's happy, I can guarantee you that they're going to vote. You're going to still be in office. And so I think everyone's hoping that the bear market kind of runs through like September, October, November, December. They get reelected, and after that, it's going to crash again. So that's where I'm going to start pulling out profits. But I think I'll pull out profits like right before the election, and then come back in. That'd be my plan. But I don't. We're about what? We're 4 months away. Sorry, 5 months away from that happening. So let's stay focused. Let's respect the process. You know what I say? Do not try to go the fast route. Sometimes a shortcut turns into a long cut. You don't want to do a long cut in the financial world. You want to be on the shortcut. And the shortcut is actually the long cut, because the only way to get this right is you just got to be steady with it. And you may be on this, you may be investing now and hit this up mark, and you may not make $1 million, but you may get to $250,000, maybe $300,000, depending on how much money you're able to put in there. That's great. That's going to set you up for the next run. That's going to set you up. Take your money out, start diversifying, get to the next level, and then so when the next crash happens, you're already making gains, and you can move into the next level. That's what I'm planning on doing. My goals. You're going to see my dream. You're going to see my portfolio grow through time. Through time. But as of right now, there's craziness. Let me just refresh this. Everything's kind of up right now. Not a lot of red. We'll see tomorrow. Usually Sundays are pretty green days since I've been in crypto for the last 4 months. Usually this has been green, green, green every Sunday. Every Sunday the market tears up, goes up. So I think that's just a lot of people are buying now. People are moving money around, so things are going up or down, left or right. But I haven't changed my portfolio, although I'm probably going to sell the Miami coin once it gets back closer towards 1 cent. I'll drop it and move out and put that money somewhere else. But that's going to get me to that alone will get me to my 10 grand. So keep in mind, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Let me get up higher on that YouTube algorithm. Try to help me out. Get this message across to people. Get my journey across to more people, because I'm going to show you how a guy that knows nothing about crypto can make it and can learn along the way, even with making a lot of mistakes. And I probably will make some terrible, terrible, terrible mistakes along the way. But you guys will be here for it all. And I appreciate it, and really appreciate you guys if you could like and subscribe and share my video. Share it with everybody. Hear my surfer boy voice. I want to get across this nation and show that you could starting with a small amount, and steady investing will get you there better than trying to find the lottery winner. To me, it's just not going to happen. Stay focused, respect the process, like and subscribe. I'll check you guys later.